The phone buzzed again. I stared at it blankly, the glow of the screen cutting through the dark of my bedroom like a knife. Another message from my parents. We no longer trust you. 3 words. Simple, cold, surgical. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Understood. I typed it without emotion, without thinking. And then I put the phone down, listening to the silence of my apartment, the only sound the faint hum of the fridge. I couldn't stop replaying the conversation in my head. A week ago, I'd asked my parents to help me with some finances. Nothing extravagant, just a loan to cover a few bills I hadn't managed. Their reply had been a mixture of disappointment and veiled anger. I tried to explain, tried to justify, but the damage was done. Their distrust didn't make sense to me, at least not entirely, but I didn't argue. Some battles weren't worth fighting. 3 days later, my world began to unravel in a way I hadn't seen coming. I had been working late at the office, the kind of late night that leaves your eyes heavy and your mind wandering. When I finally got home, the apartment smelled off. Sweet. Heavy. Something metallic under it, a faint hint of perfume that wasn't mine. I froze in the doorway, every nerve screaming. Anna. I didn't want to believe it. She was my Anna, my wife of 7 years, my partner, my only home. Yet there she was, voice soft, laughter clipped with secrecy, lying across the living room couch with someone else's body pressed against hers. The sight hit me harder than any punch ever could. My knees buckled, my hands shook, and the glass of water I was holding slipped through my fingers and shattered on the floor. She looked up. Her eyes widened. Mark. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but the words stuck in my throat. I could feel my heart twisting, a visceral, gnawing ache. How long? How many nights? How many lies layered between us like dust on old furniture? Explain. I croaked, the single word heavy with everything I couldn't say. Anna's face twisted. She tried to stand, but I stepped forward, almost by instinct. Don't. The voice that came out was not mine, not the voice I recognized. It was raw, dangerous, fractured. She hesitated. Then she collapsed back onto the couch, like a child caught in a storm she couldn't control. It just happened, she whispered. It just happened. My chest tightened. Every beat felt like a drum of accusation. For 7 years. 7 years, Anna. You loved me, or I thought you did. Was any of it real? Her lips trembled. I didn't mean. I didn't know I don't know. I didn't know either. And that uncertainty tore me apart. I walked through the apartment, every step measured, every movement echoing in the silence. Her perfume clung to the air like a haunting. I touched the walls, the furniture, seeking familiarity, something unbroken, but there was none. My life had been rewritten while I was busy trusting, busy loving. I found myself in our bedroom, our sanctuary, and opened the drawer where I kept our shared memories, photos, letters, ticket stubs from movies and trips. I pulled one out, a picture of us on our honeymoon, laughing, unguarded. My hand shook as I stared at it. I wanted to feel nostalgia, but all I felt was betrayal. I wanted to throw the picture, tear the memory, erase the lie, but the thought of losing the past itself, our history, made me pause. I heard a soft noise behind me. Anna's voice again, tentative, cautious. Mark, please. Don't leave. I can explain. No. I interrupted, the word ablaid. You can't. Not now. Not ever. Her sobs filled the room. But I felt nothing but the cold, hard shard of betrayal lodged in my chest. And yet, even amid the storm, a fragment of doubt lingered. A memory of her hand in mine on quiet mornings, the way she laughed when I messed up coffee, the late-night conversations in the living room. Were they lies too? Or was it only this, the sickness, the deceit, that had poisoned us? 3 days later, my parents' words returned to me. We no longer trust you. I thought about how hollow their betrayal had seemed, how final, and yet how tiny it was compared to what I was facing now. Their judgment had hurt, but it hadn't shattered me. Anna's betrayal did. I found myself walking through the city streets, past the neon glow of signs and the smell of rain-dampened asphalt, trying to breathe through the panic clawing at my chest. Each step was a memory I couldn't reconcile. How could someone I had loved completely, someone I had trusted with every heartbeat, turn into a stranger overnight. Then came the realization. I didn't need an explanation. I didn't need closure. I needed to survive this, to hold on to what little of myself remained intact. The love I'd given her was mine, my choice, my life. But the trust, that was gone, like smoke slipping through my fingers, uncatchable, irretrievable. Back in the apartment, I packed a small bag, essentials, my work clothes, the few things I couldn't bear to leave behind. Anna watched silently, her eyes pleading, her voice lost in the wreckage of what had been. I said nothing. As I walked out the door, locking it behind me, I realized the cruel irony. My parents' message had been a warning, a minor heartbreak, a distant sting. What I'd experienced in the last 3 days had rewritten the definition of betrayal. Trust, shattered by a loved one, was the hardest thing to rebuild. And yet, in the chaos of heartbreak, there was a small flicker of something stubborn, almost defiant. Life would continue. I would continue. Anna's betrayal had taken much from me, but it could not take the raw, jagged truth of my survival. The streets were empty, the rain falling in soft, cold sheets. I let it soak me, cleanse me. My phone buzzed again. Another message from my parents. I ignored it. For the first time in years, I was not seeking their approval, not seeking anyone's. I had my own pulse, my own breath, my own hard-earned freedom. And that, I realized, was worth more than any trust ever given or lost.